Hey there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 704 High School Highlight Podcast. My name is Jeff Taylor. I'm the sports director here at Bahakel Sports. Thanks for checking us out, and thanks to our brand new sponsor, Downer Law Firm. They are Charlotte's hometown legal team. If you have any injuries, make sure you check out the Downer Law Firm. And today, I am joined by Mr. Steve Robinson, who is the Assistant Director of Athletics for CMS. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about yourself. Growing up, maybe a little bit about your journey, where you grew up, and did you play sports? And
So, yes, I'm from Oak Hill, West Virginia, Harlem Heights to be exact. But Oak Hill, West Virginia is a small town. You go straight up 74, hit 77, hit 64, and you'll be over there. We're right there beside the New River Gorge Bridge, so everybody goes out there for jumping off.
Off the bridge. I still don't get it, but that's fine.
Yeah.
No,
so
that's not me.
You have to go out.
Did you ever think about it?
No, not at all. Every third weekend in October, it's a huge thing where people come from all over the world to do it. So it's been a beautiful thing.
Check it out. It's crazy.
Yeah. That and whitewater rafting. So
exactly.
Now, I'll do the fishing part, but everything else they can
No
do.
rafting?
Nah, the rafting part don't.
It's a little too crazy sometimes.
Yes, it is. But yeah, so being from Oak Hill, I played sports there in high school. And actually my principal then was our athletic director, which we didn't know. I didn't know anything about athletic director. We just knew we went places and had things done, and it was worked that way.
Right.
Until I moved to Charlotte, and I started as the athletic director for Rocky River High School under Erica Turner. She was my principal when I was there. So when she went downtown, I went as well. So being an athletic director has been a great thing. I love it. I love the sports. I love getting involved with it. I love being able to coach people, being able to coach coaches. You got to still work with parents, and that could be challenging at times. It depends, but it's a great thing to do, and I love the job.
So growing up, did you play sports?
Yes. Played football coming up in high school. It was a fun time. Matter of fact, my high school now just won. They're going into the playoffs, Oak Hill High School. Yeah, they're going into the playoffs right now, so that was a great thing. Hadn't been in a while. And this year they beat several teams in the same year they hadn't done in a while. So it's a lot going on back home right now.
I've watched a couple of high school games in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And the one thing that gets to me, it's really kind of old school.
Yeah.
I mean, line it up, and
line it up and go.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of starting to open up a little bit.
More.
I think that's going across everywhere.
Right.
But it's real exciting to see it, the way they're developing and growing right now, and it's a great time for it.
Let's talk a little bit about Erica.
Yeah.
And Erica Turner, the athletic director for CMS. What a great lady, and what a just the culture she's tried to establish.
Yes.
In her time as the athletic director. Tell me a little bit about her and just her passion for sports and kids.
Well, I guess the passion, you have to know why. With her son, with the twin and things, which you've interviewed her before. But
right.
Erica has it speaks for itself. Her name speaks for itself. You're going to get what you see. She's going to give you her best. What I love about working under her and her guidance has been like she put people in places that'll do what they do good, and she turn you loose to go do your thing.
Right.
So
she empowers a lot of people to do things.
So it's like, hey, you want to do this with that? All right, you run it by her, and then to give you the feedback and support. Well, I'm really big on getting feedback about things and how to get better with it because she's been through a lot. She wore a lot of hats. The principal hat that she wore, I never want to put that one on.
Right.
So you can keep that one, But as far as how she does it, is her dedication and commitment to making things better for young people. Like that is her drive. And as long as there's children there, you're gonna get all she got with it. Now you'll get the other side of her too sometimes. That's the side that, and I used to call her. You've seen the movie Lean on Me.
Yep.
And so I gave her a phrase when I was over at Rocky River, Joanna Clark. So that was what I used to call her then. But it's been great. That partnership, the relationship we have as professional has been an amazing thing to learn. So I've kind of told her, one of these days when I make it real big, I'm going to be able to have to cut her a check one day because it's been like a free mentorship. It's been free mentoring. Anywhere else I would have had to pay for this type of mentoring that I'm learning from these different aspects.
When we talk about CMS, and I just think about how strong the athletic programs are here in CMS.
Yes.
How proud are you guys of where we are right now with CMS and their athletic programs?
CMS is huge. We're the 17th largest in the country. And I just feel like as a whole, we could lead the country in a lot of things. We have some of the best student athletes around. They're leading in so many different of our sports. We had a young lady that just finished second, I think, in golf the other day. Of course, we know football's getting ready to start this weekend. Cross country is still going. We still have a couple in that. So we put students out in every sport. And to lead that much with this much going on, this much diversity, this huge of a place, we really have a lot to be proud of in a lot of statements that we make when we go places, and we lead in a lot of things, and that's on and off the field.
Right.
So it's very proud to see that that culture that we're bringing in, that we're changing things and opening up new things, from everything from girls flag football to our student athletic advisory committee, even trying to start a parent committee, and then now into what we're doing now, which was middle school championships.
Right.
So there's a lot going on in the city, and it's been really good.
When you talk about, and you brought it up, the flag football.
Yes.
I was stunned.
Yes.
I remember going out this year to, I think, the practice out at Olympic or something, and there was, I think all but one school had a team.
Right.
But to watch the girls play, they were balling out. How cool is that, and where that program can go?
Jeff, let me tell you something. Those young ladies take it to another level. Their intensity, their seriousness about it, the way they train for it. They're always asking, can they get started, because it's not up under a season, it's not sanctioned, so they want to practice all the time. But to see how that's developed and to see that it's created it's like its own animal at this point, and they are like the queens of the jungle with this. They are taking it to a whole new level, and it's very exciting to see how it's going. And I think we have now, a couple other surrounding counties will be starting this year.
I've heard that some other counties have thought about it.
A couple of them that will start this year.
Got it. In terms of, we talk football.
Right.
And we talk basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, those are two kind of sports that everybody,
Right.
gets behind and stuff like that, and there's some connections. But on our show Game On, which you can see on Mondays on BahakelSports.com, 7 o'clock, a little plug there for Game On.
Yes.
We had a story on the cross-country regional championships, I think, that were held last week over at McAlpine. I was stunned at the amount of runners.
Yes.
And then I go back and think about, in the winter you get, swimming and diving.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of kids that participate in that.
Yes.
Is that kind of cool to see those sports and how much they're growing?
If you haven't been to it, you got to go. We at the Aquatic Center. We'll have that's where their conference championships are at. If you go down there on that weekend and see that, that is an amazing sight to see. I mean, they're full. If we pack the place out. Pack the place out. But to see them compete at that level, it just gives you a whole new respect of the sport, of everybody's sport and everything that they compete in. And I think it's kind of like you're spoiled here in Charlotte, because now versus being for one school, you're for all 20 high schools,
right.
So you can go to all of them. You can go check out something from each sport and each team. And that's a different type of bond that you get with just loving what you do here in CMS.
Cool. In terms of, let's talk a little football.
Okay.
So we start round one this weekend. And actually Friday night. And for me, and I've been in Charlotte since 1999 when we moved here. But the cool part is, for me this year, and over the last year too, is seeing some of these schools get back to who they were.
Right.
In terms of, I think about DJ McFadden and what he's done at Independence. I think about Coach Griner in West Charlotte, kind of getting that program back up. They're a little bit on a slide the last few weeks, but North Mech getting into the playoffs by beating West Charlotte. And when I've talked to Darren Vaught and Reggie Walker, who do our show on, games on Friday night, the young coaches that have kind of jumped in and started building these programs up. Every time I talk to one, help me out here. He's going to coach at Rocky River.
Tyson Fernandez.
Thank you. Yes. And talking with him and stuff. How cool is it to see these young guys step up and start building, these programs almost back to where they were?
Yes.
How cool is that?
That is a great, to speak on that, especially with, starting with DJ McFadden. Coach McFadden, to watch him come in and watch what he's doing, I love to see when coaches just take what they got and try to make something happen.
And he has.
And he's making it happen. But it tells you, too, I think, about the coach. When kids will buy into what you're doing and they take a hold of what you're doing and they grasp it, even over at West Charlotte, their program is growing. Their new athletic director, Steve Joyner, who's coming from the college side down to this being able to help. So what they're doing is a great job. Across the city, to see our young coaches, even at Myers Park, up the Huff right now.
Garinger.
Yes, Garinger. Like, to see these young coaches come in and begin to create something for their programs, it's a beautiful thing to see. I love it. I love the intensity of it. They are really into their team. They're really into it. And a lot of times, it's a lot of respect. I think what they don't understand is these young men are looking at you beyond coaching.
Absolutely.
Yes, the X's and O's. Yes, you want to win, but you got to understand a lot of times, to me, and I look at your impact on how many of the young people, when they come back, they reach out to you when they want to talk to you then, because it's beyond this. It's bigger than just being on that field. They're going to have new things in life that they got to work through, adversity that they change, and these coaches are really in a place to be able to help them get better.
When you think about the playoffs, and if you've looked at the field some, who do you think is going to make some noise?
Well, I think I want all of our Charlotte teams to make the noise. The problem is they're going to wind up
they're going to play each
somewhere.
other, right?
I really think Butler's really strong.
Right.
I think that, and one thing I said about Coach Hales over there, just being at Rocky River, being in that conference, he's a consistent kind of quiet over there, just does his things and coaches up some great guys. I'm looking for them to do well in it. I'm wanting to see Huff to, take off and do theirs.
Right.
Myers Parker's in it again,
right.
New coaches there. And you want all of them to do well, but it's going to be this first round will tell a lot,
right?
And then you'll go from there. So now that it's cold, it's actually getting cold.
Football weather.
Now we're getting ready to find out how many of these young people are ready for the cold. That's
right.
Getting ready to change before they may have to head up into the mountains.
So let's switch gears.
Okay.
We talked high school. Let's talk about middle school a little
Yes.
bit. And obviously something coming up big over the next 3 weeks.
Yes.
First time ever.
Yes.
CMS is going to do a middle school championship. How cool is that for football?
It's very cool. First, I want to thank Vince Jacobs of VTO Sports because they're bringing it to us to partner with us. It's something I wanted to do, but we knew it would be hard for us to fund it, so we got a third party to help us with it. We knew we would have to start it this weekend in order to get it where we're not going into Thanksgiving and things. So, we're taking the teams out there. They're going to start a playoff. They're super excited about it. It'll be that and cheer this year. We're doing football and cheer this fall. And then next year, we're going to roll into all the sports. So we'll have it for every sport for a city championship.
Talking to the coaches and kids, maybe, have you had a chance to talk with them? How excited are they to be able to do this?
So I took the trophy to a couple games. We've been going around with the trophy, and they are going berserk. The initial trophy we took out to last year when we first had our first meeting at the end of last school year with all of the ADs, and they were super excited. They took pictures of it, sent it back to their teams, and you start seeing that'll be ours. That's coming home with us. We'll have it. So they're really excited about the whole thing and what VTO is doing. They'll have championship rings. The coaches will get rings.
Wow.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff going into this one right here. So we're super excited about it being the first.
And so it'll be 4 games and then 2 games, then championship.
Yep, it'll be 4 games to start out this Saturday.
Okay.
Then it'll be 2 games the following Saturday at Philip O'Berry. And
where are the games this weekend?
This weekend we're at Olympic High School.
Okay.
Yep, Olympic High School starting at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Then it'll be 4 games that day, and then we'll move to the second round, which will be at Philip O'Berry, and that'll be for the title, and then the semifinals. And then that day, inside the gym, that evening will be the cheer competition. And that'll be hosted by Jessica from the Girl Next Door. She'll be doing that for us.
Okay.
And then the championship game will be at Mallard Creek on November the 18th.
Wow, that's pretty stout. So let me ask you this, and has it changed anything? So I know like when my kids played ball, when they played football at Crestdale, you couldn't start till 7th grade. I think it played 7th and 8th grade.
7th and 8th grade, correct.
What is kind of the mentality behind that in terms of maybe not letting the 6th graders try out?
Well, the 7th and 8th grade is something we came into, so it hadn't been discussed to where we're moving there. Yeah, so we're
that was just always a question.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we came into, and it's been going, and so that's where we've been going with it right now.
Got it. Cool. Let me ask you this because I asked Erica about it too in terms of and you can pass on this if you want, but it's a cool deal, and I like talking to people about it. The transfer portal.
Yeah.
The ACC men's basketball coaches were here last week along with the lady coaches, and we talked a little bit about the transfer portal and how that's affected college sports.
Right.
People jumping in and out and stuff like that and moving on and stuff. Do you like it? I mean, for me, I struggle with it because I feel like it's taking away chances for high school seniors. What's your thoughts on the transfer portal and maybe how it's all, maybe do we need more regulation? Just your thoughts on it.
I think it's definitely hitting high schools. I think it's definitely because you look at it, can I get a veteran or seasoned athlete that's in the portal versus that already knows how the college system works versus going to a high school? The thing that I say is, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you adjust, adapt, overcome, which is something that came up with during the COVID years when we had to still have sports. Adjust, adapt, and overcome. It's very important that's what I tell. Find out who wants you and get there.
Right.
Stop holding out to try to get all the offers and try to put up a bunch of pictures for everyone else, because at the end of the day, where you're going is where you're going. So whatever school is reaching out to you and show you they want you, that's where you need to go and stop waiting because of things like the transfer portal and how it's happening.
Yeah, when talking with Hubert Davis, for the Tar Heels, that's the exact thing he said. He was like, listen, find a school.
Yes.
Lock in on one school and go.
Right.
And don't use it as a detriment, but use it as motivation.
Well,
to work a little bit harder.
Well, the way I feel about it, Jeff, is this. You can like it, you can not like it. That's just how life's going to be. It's going to be, everybody's not going to like it. There's always going to be somebody that doesn't. But at the same time, that is no excuse for you to not go get it. You go make it happen for what you're trying to do. And you can't focus on that because that's the control the controllables. You can't control what's going to happen with that. So find your school, find out who wants you, and get there.
So we talk about another topic that Eric and I talked a little bit. I talked to some coaches about too, is the NIL. Mm-hmm. At one point, they thought about maybe high school here, but then they overturned it in North Carolina and stuff. For me, I get it for college and what it does. High school, I'm not so sold on. Your thoughts on that? That
one is a tough one. It brings so much more to it. Because when we thought we were going to get it here, we were trying to be proactive with the NCHSAA and being part of a committee. I sit on the board for the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association, and trying to put something together. There's so many variables to it that people don't, because you look at the college life and see, well, the money.
Right.
And once you look at the numbers and you really don't get that type of money, but what else is it doing? How else is it putting you in a situation? Like, people don't understand accepting any type of money that goes against, financial aid. There's different things that happen with it. So right now the decision is not on us. It's already been made, so we don't have to deal with it at this point. But it's one of those things that if it's going to come, you just got to find out. You got to get the most information you need to be best equipped to handle it.
Right. Cool. So CMS athletics are on such a roll, and everything is going just really awesome, I think, for right now and stuff. Where do you go from here? Where does CMS go from here in terms of athletics?
Oh, man, you keep creating. You keep creating. I know one of the things that we discussed, Eric, when we first was like having a Hall of Fame. We want to be able to have a CMS because I was like, why don't we have one? Just like I just wonder why we didn't have middle school championships. Those are the things that where, hey, we'll put it in play. Find out how you do it. How do we get better? How do we have our how do we prepare our student athletes to be better for their next level? Because we got to understand those couple of years, those 4 years that we get in the high school level, then it's life. So we got to prepare more than just for athletics. We got to prepare people, help prepare students for life. It's going to be a whole nother world out there. Adversity comes, a lot of things happen. So what we do next is keep growing and find out what can we do next. What is there next to do? How do we lead next into what we're going to do, and how this ever-evolving world that we're in, to where I'm wondering if it's going to be, I was talking to a friend of mine, will it be where they'll start trying to do TV deals with high schools soon? So and look, you never know. You never know what's coming.
Cool. Steve Robinson.
Thanks
for your time, partner. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for all you do for the sports, for the kids, for our community.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time, and thank you for having me out.
You got it. Hey, listen, our thanks to Steve Robinson, the Assistant Athletic Director for CMS Schools. We thank you for joining this episode of the 704 High School Highlight Podcast. Check us out wherever you watch or listen to your podcast. Make sure you comment, like, follow. And until next time, have a great week, and we'll talk to you next Friday.